All right, so for topic two, we heard this on another podcast, but we're going to do it as well. We're going to talk about the best cutscenes or best cinematics in video games. Just
Did we hear it on another
it was on
podcast?
another podcast. At least
I mean,
I
it's
did.
pretty
Yeah, it's a
fucking.
vague, like
It's not
not
vague.
vague,
It's up there. It's
popular
one that
topic.
everyone probably wants to talk about at
Yeah.
some point.
So I'm gonna list some of my. I'm gonna talk about my favorite one. It's probably not the best one, but it's probably the one from Saints Row. There's two from Saints Row. The one where he says, "Who doesn't want to be Johnny Gat?" If you're robbing a bank.
Oh, that was a great. Well, yeah, that's technically
It
a
was
cutscene.
technically a
Yeah,
cutscene.
because there were more that I was like, no, that looks like a cutscene, but it's definitely a scripted moment. I'm like, that's a different list.
And then my second one from Saints Row is when you see Burt Reynolds and he's like, "Burt
Burt.
fucking Reynolds." That also,
I mean that cutscene didn't do much for me other than just that laugh. So maybe it's more of like a
yeah,
tagline.
those weren't
Because
really.
nothing really happened in that.
Yeah,
in that
those
cutscene.
weren't really like like one of the best and my favorite. Those are like just funny ones that I thought I want to bring up. I was also thinking of another one that's actually not a cutscene. It's when the claptrap from Borderlands gets to the stairs and just like no.
Stairs, no.
But also
That was a good payoff because he mentions it in the beginning of the game too,
because
when you have to like activate the elevator to
yeah.
get up to the top of where the fire guy is.
Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
funny they just brought that back up. It really came out of nowhere.
it's so funny.
But for serious ones, since those are more for laughs, I like the. Do you remember in Gears 3 when Coltrane goes back to like the stadium and he goes through like the whole like
Oh, the flashback, of
flashback?
like his glory days.
I mean, I guess it was half cutscene, half him like just having the bomb and running everybody
Oh
over.
yeah, yeah. When he fucking just truck sticks
Yeah.
like five. It's so weird, but it was kind of like a fan service thing.
Yeah, I'd consider that a cutscene. I mean, there was a little gameplay, obviously, but you're not really doing much. But like, it was just like a cool cutscene overall. What else do I have? I like the COD 4 nuke going off because I never ever thought that
Ooh,
was gonna
that had a
happen.
lot of resonance before that because that was before every movie was like destroying cities and like
Yep.
every game had like multiple nukes and stuff. You could also make an honorable mention for the Modern Warfare 3 one where you see that same nuke but from Makarov's perspective.
Oh, yep.
Is it Makarov?
Yeah,
His perspective.
when he's like standing outside the building with all his
Yeah, and
people.
he sees it off, but then he does the typical Makarov thing where at the end you're following him and he shoots you, and
Yep.
it's just like okay.
So I was also for Modern Warfare 3. I thought this was the one you're gonna bring up when they're in London and that fucking little kid blows up next to the thing, which I guess is just really fucked up. But
London when the video camera
yeah, the
thing?
little girl's next to the truck.
So basically, anytime the nuke or biochemical weapon goes off in a Modern
I
Warfare,
mean, I don't want to say that, but like those are moments that like I'm gonna remember when I play like any game. I'm like, those are fucking sick moments. They're just like,
if I was gonna have a Modern Warfare one or not a Modern Warfare one, a Call of Duty one, it would probably be the revelation in Black Ops 1 where you find out that
oh, that you're a Reznov, or you think
yeah,
the Reznov doesn't exist. That's a
yeah,
great
but
one.
I still think that's kind of like in game, so I can't really
I think I would
I don't
consider
really
that.
I mean, like you don't have control over it until they give you back control, but it's still kind of threaded in the game. But I mean, it could go either way.
Yeah, I'd probably consider that one.
My name is Victor Reznov.
I can't believe I forgot about that one. Like when I started making my list of things I like, good
Oh.
cutscenes, I started with Call of Duty. I was like, the nuke,
Yeah, it's
the London
not
blowing up.
it's weird.
That was such a good one, though. I completely forgot about that. Do you?
Yeah, when we do the set pieces, that'll probably be your entire fucking list.
I was also thinking about. Remember at Ground Zeroes when at the end of the game where like the whole mother base blows up? That was just like a sick look. I don't know if I mean, you've played Ground
Oh
Zeroes.
yeah,
Like
what when they're on the airfield or whatever?
when they land their helicopter, they're on top of one of the like
Yeah, they start getting shot at.
yeah, and the whole thing just like blows up and just starts lighting
Yeah.
on fire. I thought that was a pretty cool one. What else do I have? Oh, I like the beginning of Halo 3 when Master Chief crashes into Earth. I mean, it's not the best one, I guess, but
Oh, you mean like when
Johnson
Cortana
finds
has the voiceover going over too, and she's like, they let me pick
yeah,
any Spartan I wanted. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was like the start of when we realized that like the Master Chief Cortana kind of thing.
I just liked it because like Sergeant Johnson finds him is like, we're not gonna leave him here, and then he like just picks up his hands like, you fucking not gonna leave me here, absolutely not.
And then also the Arbiter shows up, and the Master Chief
Oh, yeah,
doesn't know
almost-
that they're working with him yet, and he puts a pistol under his
Yeah,
neck.
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like, Chief, 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 Chief.
Yeah.
Don't.
So, did you have any cutscenes in mind?
Yes, I did. I tried to kind of think. I kind of wanted to frame it a little bit better. I don't know how well I succeeded. Like, yours were just kind of like they were cool and funny and stuff like that, but like maybe ones that like actually had some resonance.
Yeah.
Let's see what I have. First off, the one that really hit me back in like 2005, I want to say, the first God of War, the opening cinematic.
Is that
It's
when you're on the boat?
it's like the title screen has his face looking at you. Well, it's like right before the flashback back to the boat because that's like
Oh,
a
is that
three
when
month.
he's jumping off the cliff?
Yeah, he's like the gods of Olympus have abandoned me. Now there's no hope, and he just fucking kills himself. And I'm like, holy fucking shit!
Back
Because it looked really really good at that point, and like B, that was just like that's a hook.
That's a
That's
great
hook
way to
get you.
start the
Yeah.
game, yeah.
She's like Jesus, and then like it comes back at the end of the game, and the gods save him, but you didn't know that in the beginning.
Well,
And then,
obviously.
yeah, so that held a lot of weight. Another God of War one, two, kind of the same thing. It is a cliffhanger, and it's probably would piss people off, but where he's riding Gaia up the side of Mount Olympus, and he's like,
Oh, yep, yep.
so they have the gods talking on Mount Olympus, and then they start hearing like shakes and shit, and they're like, "What the hell's that?" And then like hands all the way down to him, like riding Gaia, and he's like, "Zeus, your son has returned," and then it's just like, "Oh my god!" And then you could like bring it back to three, where they had like the PS3s, like high fidelity fucking graphics and shit, and you could just like that even better because then you just start fighting on it.
Yep.
Um, Mass Effect, I would say, in terms of like personal connection, like any of like the romance scenes when they when they pan out, because like I, I went with Miranda Lawson, and I'm gonna admit
You
it's
just
probably
killed
just
me.
because you just literally. Oh, I did. Yeah, it's
Okay,
fine.
sorry. Continue.
Like the Miranda Lawson one, like there's still some like emotion behind that, but like you're basically just fucking in that one. But like maybe like Talia's one has a lot of emotional like weight to it. What is it, Liara?
Yep, Liara.
Hers is good too. Like, and then even like the statement, even like the him and Steve one, like that's a homosexual relationship, and like that they did all the relationships like so beautifully that like you were so invested in it, and they did them justice. So like
Hmm.
I feel like any of those would be considered. What does that say? Oh, Mass Effect 3, the Battle for Earth, because that's like the huge payoff that you've been working for so many games. When you have the entire fleet with all the like teams you've
Oh,
accrued.
is that when you like you're flying in the ships, I
Yeah,
think?
you like slip space back, and all the Reapers are defending. Reavers or Reapers?
Reapers. Reavers are in gears.
Yeah, Reapers are Firefly. That happened to me again. Yeah, it's the whole payoff. They're just defending Earth, and then like you slip space back into them, and you're like, I mean, I did really well, so I don't know if like maybe it would be less if you didn't recruit certain teams.
I don't even
Or-
remember. That was so long ago when I
But like,
did it.
but like I had the Geth, I had the fucking who were Talia's people,
Oof. I don't.
the Quar
Oh yeah, Quarry or something like that. We probably botched that big time.
Yeah,
But
so like he just talked to all of them, and then a big emotional speech about like this is it, and then just the Normandy doing like that whole weave in through the fight thing that they kind of did at the suicide mission in Halo 2.
Yep.
Not Halo 2,
Mass Effect 2, yeah.
Yeah, they're both space operas. So
I just thought of another one. You were talking about like moments that I mean, I guess you weren't really talking about moments that defy a character, but I was thinking about when we first met Trevor in GTA. That was like
Ooh, yeah, that's
perfect
fucked up,
scene
but
that
yeah.
like sums up who Trevor is as a
Yeah.
character. Like
Yeah.
you know what the fuck he's gonna be like and things like that. Just
Jesus Christ, it's so messed up.
it
Though.
really is, but that sums up his character perfectly.
Yep.
Do you have any other ones?
Oh yeah, I do.
I just kind of interrupted
The
you.
opening of Mass Effect, I told you, like I couldn't think of many other games, but like in terms of the games I remembered, like opening of Mass Effect 2 when you die, the opening cinematic where the Normandy gets fucked by the collector's ship
Oh, and they
and just
revive
gets
you.
blown to smithereens, and then you fucking like bleed out. And like I got a huge celeb crush on Yvonne, so like when you wake up with Miranda Lawson just like right in your face, I'm like, oh, that's so great, so awesome. Let's see, Darksiders, the very end of the first Darksiders, where he's talking to, I think it's one of the angels, like the leader of the angels, and they're like, well, so like, what do we do now? And he's like, we call for backup, and it just like pans to the sky, and the other other three brothers are falling down, the other four horsemen.
Hmm.
So that was wicked fucking cool, even though I've only had one of them to play as so far. I still want like a Darksiders 3 co-op with like
is that ever gonna
Strife
happen?
and Fury. I do think they were talking about having like a Darksiders 3 at some point because I think somebody bought it from THQ during the
I would
sale.
assume so, yeah.
Well, sale slash auction. I guess technically
Buying
a
out.
going out of business auction. Yeah. Um, Halo Reach. When they hand off Cortana, I think we kind of mentioned it
Oh,
earlier.
are you talking about like?
When Noble Six hands it off the keys. Yeah, we definitely talked about. But then like Emil fucking does. Like all the other ones have died. Like Cat got shot in the face. Fucking George suicided himself. Well,
Oh,
sacrificed himself on the
when
ship.
George killed himself, that was a good fucking scene.
Well, when he throws you out of the
Yeah, he's
back
like,
into space. Apparently, Master Chief's not the only one that can fall from space and survive. Um, But yeah, when he hands it off and he's like, "No, I'm gonna stay behind," and the meal fucking takes on that elite and then gets stabbed, and it's just like, "Oh man!" But then you can also do that interactive thing where you can look and see the Easter egg of Master Chief.
oh, yep,
Oh, want to?
that's a good one.
Halo 2, giving them the Covenant back their bomb. That's like right when he became like
Badass.
a sarcastic, witty little badass. And it was so awesome. Oh my God. Like, it's so improbable that he would be like, I'm just gonna like fall perfectly with this bomb and just land on a ship.
Yep.
Um, Halo 4, definitely the Cortana death,
Mm,
because that
I'm surprised
that
I didn't
probably
think of
held the
that.
most weight. And then I guess another one that held a little weight, Gears 3, Dom's death.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
they do like the slow-mo kind of, it's kind of like cliche, but that whole game is a fucking action movie, an 80s action movie
Yep.
anyway. So like it's gonna have those elements, but like the slow mo and just like this extreme close up that they do of Marcus's face when it happens. Plus the song, man, that
Oh,
song,
that was so.
especially when they played it during Gridlock. Like sometimes I was just like, oh come on,
What
man.
about when you find Maria's body and Dom thinks that she's
Ooh,
alive? That's probably a good one to talk about.
yeah, that's a good one.
I was thinking. I mean, I haven't finished Last of Us, but what about the beginning of the game when his fucking daughter dies, like in his arms? Like, you don't
For
really
the
have
most
like a
part, yeah, that is a cut. The actually her dying part, but like get even just like
the city.
the like the set pieces to get to that point. Those hold a lot of weight too. But like, yeah, it's actually a cutscene when she
Yeah, I
dies in
mean,
his
we
arms.
don't have like a big connection with his
God.
daughter, but
How much do you know about like them? How much have you heard like Troy Baker talk about that scene?
I have not heard him talk anything
He,
about that
he's
scene.
like he made us do like take after take after take. And he's like, I know this is really tough, but like we're so close. Can we just do one more? And like Troy Baker's like, I literally dug. I'm not gonna say what I thought about, but I dug into the deepest, darkest fucking parts of my fucking memories and soul, and I just fucking went at it, and it was just like I was broken for like a couple days
I,
after that. I'm
I
like, holy
I've never
shit.
really thought
I
about
mean, it
that.
paid off, but holy shit. Because he's like, right after we did that take, he was just like, okay, that's it. We got it.
You kind of like knew that she was gonna die too, which is kind of because she wasn't like on the cover art, so it wasn't like a. I mean, I guess you didn't know she was gonna
She,
die, but
I don't know if you gave his daughter right there like a scar on her face and like dyed her hair, it could have passed off Ellie and
maybe
probably
a little
the
bit.
opening,
Uh,
just like the beginning marketing for that maybe.
I'd like to say some of the Uncharted ones, but those are mostly like they're like there's no real good cutscenes in Uncharted, not that I know of at least.
The train
The tr-
over when he wakes up on the
I guess
train
the
that's hanging
beginning of
over
the
the
train,
mountain.
because I consider that just like I mean I guess that's the same as the
Or no, ooh, Uncharted 3, the cutscene where he has that he's at like the restaurant in the I want to say it's like Paris or something, but I don't think it's Paris. But with the villain chick, I forget what her name is.
I don't remember either.
But it's just like he's just like doing that whole quippy like passing it off like, oh, I'm Nathan Drake, it's my heritage and all this stuff, like I deserve what's in there, and she just like breaks him down and she's like, "Oh, Nathan Drake's not your real name or not your real surname, and like you were an orphan and your mom killed herself and all this stuff," and you could just see his face like breaking, and it's like, holy shit, we just got a lot more information on Nathan Drake that we didn't, because like I was I didn't really believe that it was like, oh, cool, I like that's a cool premise for a game in Uncharted 1 where he's like the son of an ancient like sailor, well, not pirate,
Sailor?
pioneer, I would
Okay.
guess, or whatever the hell they call him.
Explorer?
Yeah, explorer. What or conquistador, I guess.
I don't know the exact
Uh,
word.
yeah, one of those words. But like I was like that's an interesting premise. It's like a modern day kind of continuation of maybe some of the stuff that like an adventurer would go through at that like back in the 1500s, 1600s or whatever. So that's cool, but like I didn't really believe that he would have actually been a true descendant of it, and like that payoff was really that really worked. That worked for me.
Trying to think.
I mean, and then like Sully dying after that, even though it's a hallucination, like that one sucked. Sully's been your dad for 3 games, and then like he's gone.
Trying to think. I'm looking at my game list right now. Was there anything in like the Batman games that were really?
Yeah, I mean, I could pull a bunch of them. Joker's death, the whole
Oh, that was a good one.
the whole duality of the man thing. Because when in the Catwoman part, there's the picture of Cain and Abel. Like I forget who killed who in that fucking biblical story, even though it's like the third biblical story. But I kind of forget who was doing who. But it's the whole duality of man painting, and then like it just bookends on the end because it's Batman carrying Joker as opposed to like Cain carrying
Yep.
Abel the other way. Yeah,
That
Cain
was a.
killed Abel.
I was thinking like when I was thinking of a list, I didn't even think of so. Like I thought of Batman for a second. I was like, I don't think there's anything, but Joker dying's definitely a big one.
The the revelation that Joker like when they do that whole like what do you do? Well, how do you trick the world's greatest detective? You put the answer right in front of his nose and you just watch. And like that was wicked cool. And it just like goes back to where the notes in the fucking safe when he fights Mr. Freeze. And like he's just it's so good. And then I don't know, they do the after he kicks him out of the window with the wheelchair when he gives him his blood, and then it just shows like the other Joker that he thought was dead, like wakes up and you realize it's Clayface.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah,
Sh-
there's probably a bunch from that one, and then I went through over my games list, and I was just like, Dead Space probably has a few moments, but like they're more set pieces in cinematics because like the first necromorph you see, it's a set piece. Like you can move if you want to.
so we should do a set piece topic at a
Yeah,
later
yeah,
date.
because like the BioShock games, that's like
I was gonna. I forgot.
all set
I was
piece.
thinking about that when you. What about when you find out at the end when he does like the what is that stupid line he says at the end of the game? Will
Oh,
you?
what BioShock?
Yeah, will you?
Would you
Would
kindly?
you kindly? Isn't that like a cutscene where he's just like flashing back?
Yeah, yeah, I would say this. Yeah, the whole because you like find a wall with it, and then he just like talks over, and it's like, "Would you kindly? Would you kindly? Would you kindly?" But it's just like quick, like it's just like a quick flashback, like quick rapid succession of flashbacks. So like that's still the best twist of like the past 2 generations of gaming. But I wouldn't say it's like it's not very long.
Not
So I don't know
worthwhile.
if it would make a cutscene list.
So do you have any other ones?
No, those are the ones I had on my list. I mean, that's definitely a topic I could see us going back to after a while.
Yeah,
Maybe
'cause there's a bunch of games coming out
That's-
soon that
yeah,
I
and like Fallout might have like cutscenes.
there's good ones in Metal Gear, but I don't want to spoil Metal Gear for anybody since it's
Well,
all
there's probably some in some other Metal Gears, right?
probably. I mean, I haven't really. I mean,
I mean,
We could-
what about Raiden when he like shows up and he's a fucking ninja and you never knew that before and he just rips for like 10 minutes he rips apart like fucking those ATSTs things.
in Metal Gear 4, we could probably talk about that for fucking ever because it's just. I heard that game has like hour-long cutscenes or something crazy.
Yeah. I just went through like some YouTube playlist once and I like napped halfway through and I woke up and it's still happening. It's just like holy shit.
All right, so let us know down in the comments what are your favorite cutscenes or what do you think the best cutscenes are. I guess those are two different things, but I kind of named a little bit of both, and so didn't you. Well, you named most.
Yeah, and if you have like a cutscene that really like that you really enjoyed, let us know why. Like what was special about it, what resonance did it hold? Because that's more like why I wanted to do kind of this topic is just either it's a personal weight that you had or like just the way just like the way it was presented in the story itself. They can either be emotional, like you kind of went for funny and cool, and I kind of went for like it broke people. But like I don't know, just let us know what you thought about what your thoughts about the cutscene that you pick are.
All right, join my game first, and I'm just gonna cut this out because you got kicked. Well, you don't have to join, I guess. I want to actually play for fucking a little bit.